from moving companies every day.
Wow.
And I actually did get my phone back today.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
What happened to your phone?
They wouldn't let me take it off of my dad's plan because they said your dad has to show up. I said, well, he can't show
It's
up.
going to be hard.
That's going to be difficult.
Well, it is now, but luckily that's why, but I've been fighting it for 7 months. I went and saw this guy, and he goes, well, we'll see what we can do. He goes, you look kind of familiar. I go, oh, you're going to remember me. I have faith you're going to do it
I
today.
bet there'll be a lot of graduates in here tonight, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they have a ceremony tonight, too, so that, they went from 8 ceremonies to 10.
Wow.
Wow.
So they have 2 night ceremonies this week.
And then as soon as those ceremonies are done, all the high schools will show up.
Yep.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock. Means it's time for Three Guys Who Love Sports, the show that helps guys that are going through mental and physical issues get through another hour with your help. And you help somebody, and we help somebody, and everybody helps somebody. It will be a better place.
It can't hurt, Mr. Burge.
You can't. My name's Chuck Burge, along with my co-host, Mr. Robert Kennedy. Robert, how art thou?
Just waiting for somebody to roll me away.
All right. We can do that.
Absolutely.
And, one thing we didn't do last week is we didn't congratulate all the moms out there. So I hope you all had a great Mother's Day.
Larry's a real mother.
Yeah, I've been called that a few times, but I don't think they give a card for that.
Well, no, they got a card. You just got to go to a special store to get that one.
What's that song where they say we're going to turn this mother out?
Yeah. Brothers Johnson, didn't it? No. We got a real rocking thing going on.
Yeah.
We got a whole lot of rhythm going down.
I like listening to you and Carrick.
I love that song. Yeah. We get the funk. Yeah.
Gotta have that funk.
Yeah. Remember, we were going to do something with the Owl song about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
George and the Parliament.
Parliament, that's who it is, yeah. So we're here at Miller's, as we are every Wednesday, or at least 98% of. And we love being here, love Miller's. They provide us with great food, a great hosting location. And tonight,
And can you get better than Sean?
No, you cannot.
He's the best
cannot
ever.
get better than Sean Fells.
He is in the Bartenders Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the bartender's Hoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very happy to be here, and for the third week in a row, I'm on a streak here. I'm doing Big Red, but without the sauce.
I thought you were just saying I was here for the third week in a row. I thought that was the streak. That too.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to jump on the bandwagon. I went Big Red too. Got a pair of Big Reds showing up at this table.
Yeah, but one in broccoli, the other in the salad. So I don't know.
One with hot sauce. That's what makes it Big Red. One without hot sauce.
Little Red. Yeah.
Actually, that was a friend of mine's truck.
Oh, Little Red.
Little Red.
And how about you, Larry?
I went with the wings tonight.
Larry's winging it.
What flavor did we go with?
I went with a mild and teriyaki.
Okay.
A mild teriyaki. How about that?
I was thinking mild. I mean, not to say that.
Mild-mannered Larry.
Mild-mannered Larry. Going with the milds.
All right. And we always want to welcome back our good friend, Mr. Carrick Martin, as a guest today. Carrick, the mayor of Owltown. So if you know anything about KSU sports, you should know Carrick.
Yep.
And if you don't, you should know Carrick.
Yeah,
Yes.
If you want to learn anything about Owl Sports, just kind of follow his agenda, and you'll learn a lot.
Yes.
And speaking of agendas, we're going to get on with ours, but we're changing ours up a little bit today. Some dummy forgot to put in a very important event, and
Stuff like that happens sometimes.
it does. So, but first thing we're
It'd
going to talk
happen a
about,
lot more if I filled this thing out on a regular basis.
but the first thing we're going to talk about is the passing of Bobby Cox. Very sad thing for Bobby, for the Braves to lose Ted Turner one day, and it was like 4 days later we lose Bobby Cox. That's pretty sad.
It is what it is. That's what happens when everybody's about the same age. But an incredible manager, lots of records. But, it's always interesting listening to somebody like Andrew Jones the other day. Andrew, if you guys don't remember, got benched that one game where
For not hustling.
Bobby didn't think he hustled enough, And I watched the thing with Andrew the other day, and he said, "Oh, he's definitely my second dad, and he's been my first dad for a long, So it's kind of cool to know that he had that kind of impact on all those different players of his."
Yeah, Walt Weiss said something similar. He played for Bobby for 2 years, and then came after a gap, came to the Braves organization as a coach, and said that Snicker reminded him so much of Bobby Cox. It was amazing.
Yeah, Snicker was a lot like Bobby Cox, and I had my issues with Bobby a couple times, and I used to look at Snicker, and I'm like, it's almost like it's Halloween. He's just dressing up as Bobby.
Yeah. I didn't realize that Bobby Cox was a very heavy smoker. He smoked like 106 a day.
Wow.
Is something Donna did that.
5 packs a day.
Yeah, that's pretty stout.
Well, and it's weird because they used to smoke in the
Dugout.
So not easy during the '90s. Where's Bobby again? Bobby's in the tunnel.
Down the tunnel. Yeah. One of my favorite things about Bobby is the number of times he got thrown out of a game. 162, right?
Yeah.
Which what is 162?
It's a record.
A season.
It's an exact season.
Yeah, it's exact season.
So stop and think. He got thrown out of an entire season. That's an amazing, 161, 163 is not as good of a stat. 162
It's
is
a better
beautiful.
story. Yeah.
It's you think about it. If you got thrown out of an entire season, you'd probably be a little poorer.
Yeah.
He wasn't,
No.
But sometimes he's an old school manager. Used to always get the moniker of a player's manager, which meant he knew you were in a slump, but he wasn't gonna. He knew you were his guy, and he was putting you in there no matter what. But at the end of the day, when you get thrown out that many times, sometimes there's bad calls. And sometimes maybe you got plans later that, I don't know if I'm going to make dinner if we don't get out of here a little early. But a lot of times you might just look at your club and be like, these guys are just kind of sleepwalking. Maybe when I go out there to be like, dang, I better show up early tomorrow because Bobby's ticked. So he just always seemed to know when to pull the trigger.
I always enjoy he got thrown out of an old timers game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. One of my favorite clips I've seen over the last couple of days is when he threw the first pitch out at Truist. All the umpires came up and shook his hand
and then threw him out. Yes.
I thought that was a pretty cool little story. Yeah.
Well, and Chuck, just to share with you what you already shared with me on your poker night tomorrow night. What happens when you get a 6?
You're out.
Yeah.
You're out of the game. If you flip a 6, you're out.
Yeah.
You're not winning this game
You
anymore.
get back in the next game, but you're not in for
That's
this one.
pretty cool. I think I'm going to try that one on Saturday night.
It wasn't Bobby that came back in as another number, right? Or one manager came out and changed jerseys.
After an ejection?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think that was Bobby, but I remember Billy Martin or somebody doing that. But yeah, that was funny.
I do remember, now that you bring it up, I do remember somebody got thrown out and they came back in with that 1977 fake black glasses, nose, and mustache where they were sitting in the dugout.
That sounds like Billy Martin, doesn't it?
That does.
Yeah. So Carrick was at the game last night when they did the tribute to Bobby Cox. Tell us what the crowd was like. When they had a moment of silence, it was pretty silent.
It was very silent, and silent for a long time, too. I was surprised because we had so many Cubs fans there last night that it stayed silent. Of course, they were doing Ted Turner at the same time. This first home game since both of them had passed. So it was a very nice tribute to both men.
I saw a couple of signs in the stadiums from Cubs fans. Said thank you for all you did for baseball. So Cubs at least a little bit classy. If we've been the Phillies, it might be a little different story.
Yeah, that's true.
But pretty cool organization.
They threw things at Santa. You can't really bring Phillies into any of these types of conversations.
Yeah. Now, Bobby also had the third most wins in Major League Baseball history. Isn't that correct, Robert?
Yes, third most wins. And here, I just wanted to pull it up. It was Bobby Valentine.
Bobby Valentine. That's what it was.
Bobby Valentine with the fake nose and glasses in the dugout after getting thrown out.
Oh man,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
no, a super successful career, and will always be a little harshly judged because he only won that one title in the '90s. But
14 straight division championships, never been done before,
and it'll never be touched again. And at the end of the day, He was the right guy for the job. He
At the
was
right time,
He
yeah.
was the right guy for this job.
Yeah, his first year was 91. Isn't that right? I think that's correct.
I think he was here before 91.
Well,
the first
maybe
year back
90.
was 90.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
91's when we actually got good. I think he was here
Worst-
before.
that was the worst of first year.
Before we added Pendleton and Breen.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened in 91.
He was there for the worst, and he was there for the first.
Yeah.
so he and Shearholtz were quite a combination to judge talent and judge of how to structure a team and to
Correct.
just how to manage it. you
And
know?
I believe Sherholtz didn't actually show up until 92. So Sherholtz actually got Pendleton and Bream, and then it was like, okay, well, what if I added to this guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll take Maddox. Good hire.
yeah, good choice.
Yeah, I met Sherholtz once at I was doing a Braves party at the 755 Club at Turner Field, and we were doing karaoke in there, and he came up and said, "Yeah, I'll sing." Oh, he was all right, yeah. But he was a fun guy. So to Bobby's family, thank you for all the memories that Bobby provided us with. I know there were a lot of Braves fans that, or like Carrick said, were pretty torn up about everything last night between Turner and Cox, and just great tribute to two great guys. May not agree with them on many things, but they did a lot for the city of Atlanta.
They did. They did. Left it out on the field.
Yeah. All right. So we will move on in our quest to find the greatest athletes that ever wore a jersey. We are moving on to number 78 tonight. And Robert said we didn't even have to debate this because he's already got his picked.
Well, you know,
He did last week.
I'm decent on some numbers, and 78 might be one of my favorite players of all time. So, yeah, coming up with Bruce Smith was not that difficult for me. But
there are some really
there's some
good
really
78s.
solid numbers here. Lots of Hall of Famers, and it's kind of funny how you can go through 76 and 77 and be like, "Man, we got nothing." Then you hit 78, and you're like, "Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer." The little easier, a little tougher.
Yeah, let me name some of these, and we'll see how everybody feels. Bruce Smith is who Robert's talking about, often considered the greatest number 78. He's the NFL's all-time sack leader. I don't know that I knew that.
I didn't either.
An 11-time All-Pro.
Correct. He was a Hokie.
Yes.
Yep.
And 8-time All-Pro and 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anthony Munoz, offensive tackle, Cincinnati, arguably the greatest offensive tackle in NFL history, named 11 straight Pro Bowls and All-Pro teams.
9
was-
All-Pro teams.
He was
about
Bengals, right?
correct. So 9 All-Pro teams means he was the best at his position for 9 years. Well, there's 29 or 31 other teams.
That
So
says 11 straight All-Pro and all.
yeah, it was
all-
11
All-Pro
straight All-Pro for sure.
teams. And All-Pro teams.
Yeah, it was. We
All right.
got that part wrong.
So who did?
The people who wrote that.
AI? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Art Shell, a Hall of Fame tackle with an
Raiders.
8-time Pro Bowler and 3-time Super Bowl champion.
And don't leave out, although I don't think he was very good at it. He was a head coach, and he was a head coach at a weird time and everything else. So having a black man who is a Hall of Famer take the helm of an NFL team and do it with pride and dignity and all the other good stuff that comes with it. Art Shell was a stud.
Jackie Slater, another famous name.
Unbelievable.
Rams,
Offensive
right?
LA Rams.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame tackle who played 20 seasons for the same team, for the Rams.
20 seasons.
20 seasons.
Man.
How about Bubba Smith, defensive end, Baltimore Colts,
Bubba.
Yeah.
Raiders and Oilers, and
Yeah.
also one great policeman on. The
Tastes
police-
great.
Yeah, and didn't he
Les
do
Filling.
yeah,
Tastes
that's right.
great. Les
The beer
Filling.
But he did the
commercials. That's
police
what I was going to bring
academy.
up.
He
Yeah.
was a police academy.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was. He was
Don't
in
call me
Police Academy.
Shirley.
Yeah.
No, he was so good, and it's kind of funny looking at all his stats today, where he compared. Now, obviously, all these other guys were first ballot Hall of Famers when we talk about Munoz, Slater, Smith, Art Shell. So, Bubba was a little bit further behind them, but probably will be remembered longer because of all those movies.
But Bubba was a bad boy on the field.
He
wasn't
was.
He
He was a
He
bad
used to
man.
Whack people.
They were all. This is very difficult for me. I mean, I like Bruce Smith. Always been kind of a secondary Bills fan, not Bulls fan. But I would probably have to go with Art Shell just because of the three world championships.
3 world championships, and once again, one of the original head. Actually, he might be the original. Let's hear what Carrick thinks while I Google.
The who I think is the best 78, I
Yes,
think
sir.
it's Bubba Smith. I mean, it's just, to me, he's one of the first football players I knew growing up.
He was a huge man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he went to Michigan State, and Big Ten got all the publicity then, so you knew that. But to me, he dominated the defensive line in the time that he played.
All these were great names. I
Yeah.
mean, they really were. And they left out, there was a guy, Richmond Webb, with Miami Dolphins, was a good tackle, too. So.
Yeah, it made me think of Richmond Flowers, too. But anyway, Richmond Webb, it was good. Was he on the undefeated team?
The 72 team? I think he was. No. I think this was after 72.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird. I looked up first black head coach in the NFL, and it comes back with this guy named Fritz Pollard, who
Yes.
did it in 1921, which he wasn't given a lot of credit and wasn't
Yeah.
in charge of anything great in 1921, unfortunately, because the way this country was.
Yeah.
But Art Shell was the first one in the modern era to run an NFL team. So
Certainly closely followed by Tony Dungy, right? With the Bucks.
probably followed very closely by that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna still stick with Bruce Smith. I think 2-time Player of the Year and all that other stuff. And Art Shell and Anthony Munoz are probably in a real close tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good bunch of players at number 78.
But I'd want to hang out with Bubba more than probably most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're only 2 weeks away from getting into some wide receivers, so that ought to be fun. Couple of weeks. Don't know what is any 79 pop off to you at the top of your head?
Matt Stinchcomb.
Bam.
Oh well, no, he's a bulldog. He doesn't matter.
My answer was going to be no. So don't ever think I was going to come up with Matt Stinchcomb.
So
And
he
what a
won't be
beautiful
he
one.
won't be getting one vote next week. I'll promise you that. All right. So let's move on and get our first commercials.
Do you think that man bought that shirt?
What is it?
It says I love my wife.
If he did, it was a smart move.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Smart man. Smarter than I am.
There are a lot of places. Wait, why would you love his wife? No, I was kidding. There are a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area. But if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol, Kennesaw Express Loop, or Lost Mountain Express Loop. We'll always do our very best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer
Castrol Products.
Joshua Smith and his wife Tammy are both graduates at Kennesaw State College. He's been practicing law for 24 years, specializing in sports and entertainment law while continuing in criminal defense, civil litigation, juvenile, and personal injury. And he's ready to represent you all the way from your small town to the Supreme Court and any appellate court in between. With all the new rules regarding NIL and cash payments to athletes, they're placing a new emphasis on Kennesaw State University student athletics to help our student athletes better navigate some of the bigger issues that have tripped up so many. Give them a call tomorrow, Chuck, at 706-217-2095.
I might just do that, but where?
I said 706-217-2095.
Thank you, Joshua. We appreciate you being a sponsor of the Three Guys That Love Sports. It's graduation week here at Kennesaw State University territory.
Yay.
A lot of people coming in with KSU degrees today that didn't have them yesterday.
And we might not be the fanciest dressed people in here right now.
Yeah.
That is probably true.
5,100 graduates this week.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yes.
So that's kind of an interesting. There's 52,000 students, 51,000 students.
51,000, yeah.
So 10% of the. How does that work out? Does that usually?
Robert, to answer your question, I don't know, but
They don't all-
it is
they
pretty
don't
interesting.
graduate this quarter.
I have to think about it. That includes master's degrees and maybe even a few PhDs.
But some people graduate in December.
Yeah.
I mean, you can graduate
Yeah,
after any semester.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just wondering. Old school thought process. Well, there's 4 different years. There must be 25% of the population. So 10 just seemed like a smaller number. But I
Well,
wasn't
they
sure.
will graduate 3,000 more in the winter graduation ceremony. So that's 8,000 total.
Gotcha.
So,
It's around. And then
It's a
saying
big
that not all
number.
52,000 graduate.
well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to baseball. Baseball been very, very good
To me,
to the Atlanta Braves so far this year. Yeah, and to you.
Annette's been very, very good to Chico Escuela.
That was a great bit. Back when
one of the
back when
best.
comedy was comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
one of the best ever.
So speaking of weird names, Jacob Mizorowski. If you don't know about him, he's a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, who have won 10 of their last 13. They're kind of on a roll. He is a pitcher, and last week he threw in one start. He had 10 pitches over the speed of 103 miles an hour.
The fastest pitches ever. Statcast is what keeps track of everything, and so
Yeah.
whenever they're giving a stat, they'll say during the Statcast era. So nobody knows anything from before then,
Yeah.
but there was never anything. But fastest pitches ever by a starting pitcher,
That is
pretty
amazing.
impressive, yeah.
because
with
normally
Nolan
it's
Ryan,
the closer.
Yeah. You think Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, people like that, but that's probably before Statcast. But
It was, and they were radared at 100 miles an hour. Both of
Yeah.
those guys, they were the first triple digit kind of guys. But now we're up to almost 104.
Yeah.
Do you think they over talk about velocity, speed of the bat, and pitch angle and all that stuff? I mean, we didn't know all that stuff. I said, I just want to know that he got a single. I
Yeah.
don't care how fast it left the
we
bat.
didn't know all that, but we never played pro ball either. So.
Yeah, but they never broadcast it the way they
Yeah.
do now.
Right, but like a couple years ago, when every time you see the pitchers coming over to the dugout at the end of the inning, they have to pull their glove off and they have to do this and they have to get inspected.
Yeah.
Well, that's because 3 years ago the spin rate on curveballs was out of this world. Garrett Cole was leading that, and then the other guy who liked to beat women up and now is in Japan, the pitcher for the Dodgers.
Trevor?
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
So those two guys had spin rates that were mind-boggling. It was like, well, of course nobody can hit anything. Their ball is spinning 3 times more than anybody else. So different crazy stats can let you know a lot of stuff. Those stats let you know who all the cheaters were right off the bat. Okay, those 9 guys are doing something different. They're not better at it than anybody else. And sometimes with those pitch angles, if Jacob Mizorowski hits a wall 4 years from now, and they go, well, what is it? Well, you're not coming over the top anymore. Instead of you coming across at midnight, you're coming in at 5 past 1, or whatever it is, and it might not seem like much, but that's so all those stats do make a big thing as long as you can
I'm
determine.
not saying they don't make a difference. We've just never seen them before.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of like my old Art Donovan thing, where did you ever hurt your ACL or MCL? We didn't have those when I played. Just didn't happen that way.
KSU had a young man, Drew Plant, that did a lot of analytics.
Any kin to Mike?
Yes, it's his son.
Yeah.
So I think he is out west working for one of maybe the Angels, doing analytics for them. But I'm just trying to think what Gaylord Perry's spin rate would have been.
Well, that's the whole thing. Sometimes when you talk about the worst sport in the world would probably be baseball, to go era by era.
Yeah.
But even were only white people playing? Was there a good mix of all people? Were you still allowed to have like Vaseline dripping off the
Yeah.
ball while you were throwing it? So just so many different eras. Makes you really appreciate people like Willie Mays, though.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
And Hank Aaron. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Lou Brock.
Yeah.
Guys who had stuff, there was sand, files and goo
Yes.
and all sorts of other stuff. And these guys were still hitting the ball in every direction.
It was funny. I was watching the game last night, and I was just watching on TV, and we got picked off twice last
Yes,
night.
we did. That was very unusual. I was telling my granddaughters, it doesn't happen normally.
I
It
saw the
didn't happen-
Olsen. I didn't see who else did it.
Yeah, it was Yastrzemski. Was he the second?
No, it wasn't
one?
Yastrzemski,
Yeah.
I don't think. But it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even close. It looked like they were leaning, and here they come back.
Yeah, to have 2 in
I
one
think it was
game.
Michael
on one
Harris
team.
was the other one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and
It's
we've-
unusual.
We've had, I think, 9 or 10 already.
Huh.
So I don't. Somebody was saying bring back Eric Young.
Yeah.
'Cause he was a better base coach, I guess. Than
I saw this stat the other day, and I thought it was a good one, so we'll break it out for baseball. Do you know that Babe Ruth in his career batted more than 370 6 times in a
Wow.
season and got one batting title?
370 wasn't cutting it, huh?
370, he cut it once. One time was it. Just once again going back to eras and how you can't compare them. It's just crazy stuff.
Yeah, the Cubs, they've lost 3 in a row now, but they've won 10 in a row twice already this year in 40 games. It makes sense that they're one of the top teams in the league now. I think they're rated second behind the Braves. Isn't that
Yes.
right?
Correct, right now.
Yep.
Actually, third. Tampa's second.
Oh, are they? So,
Well, that is amazing to have this early in the season 2 10-game streaks.
well, the last time that happened?
When?
1955.
Wow.
The New York Yankees
Oh, ooh.
had 2 10-game winning streaks inside the first 40 games.
I'm gonna have to ask George Olney that
I
question.
called George today and didn't get a response, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, and I was getting ready to throw him under the bus on one of these, but by just saying they're in the NL Central and they play a bunch of garbage, so it's real easy to win 10 games.
But their games haven't been against the NL
their last 10-game win was 2 against the Phillies, 3 against the Mets. 1,
That's
2,
easy.
3, 4 more against the Phillies, and then 1 against the Dodgers. So you got to hand it off to that one. Even if those teams are playing like garbage, there's so much payroll there. It's mind-boggling. Oh, I got a good payroll stat for you. You ready for this?
Payroll away.
Yes.
The Los Angeles Garbage Dodgers currently have $2.1 billion in future money allocated for this particular team. That is more than the bottom 13 teams in baseball combined.
And more
amazing.
than Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
But you start thinking 2.1, you go, okay, well, where does that right? Okay, it's more than half the league combined. Oh,
Yes.
So, but they're going to be getting a lot of money into the future, just like a Bobby Bonilla.
yeah, well, Kyle Tucker, he's just getting his regular money. He's the second highest paid athlete this year. Otani's the highest. Tucker's the second. That's $130 million just between those two.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Man, it's a good gig if you can get it.
It is.
I was talking with somebody the other day, and I was amazed that they knew who Shohei Ohtani was. He's starting to get quite a name just in general sports.
Oh yeah, he's he's an athlete.
Yep.
He's been MVP 4 straight years now. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Well, he's won 3 in a row. I believe there might be a year off in between that. It might be 4 in a row still, though. But
I think it's 3 in a row. He's won.
three in a row with one other one.
He's
But
won it 4 times.
But he's the only guy. Only him and Bonds have ever won it more than 3 times. So he's already the second best MVP of all time.
And I think he's pitching tonight.
They're getting ready to slow him
Trying
down
to break
because
their
he's
spick. Yeah.
because he's they're talking about giving him a little break just because he's been in a little bit of a funk. And since I gave the Cubs a lot of credit for that 1 winning streak, now let's go back to my original thought. This other one has them beating the Tigers, the Rangers once, the Reds 4 times, the Diamondbacks 3 times. So yeah, one of their streaks is a lot of garbage.
Well, you got to take advantage of what's given to you,
The schedule is the schedule. You got
Yes.
to play the games on
You
there.
think about the Atlanta Hawks. When they went through their last 20 games of the season, they played everybody that was tanking, and it wound up doing them no good.
And got an 8th pick out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could have got as high as first, but the chances were low.
Yeah, the chances are low, but
They
that's
probably
still.
wound up as low as they could have been.
There are very few times where a team wins 44 games in the NBA and gets a top 8 pick. So we're still heading in the right direction.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get a brain training commercial in, and then we'll move on and talk some NFL football.
Food.
Hey, it's Melissa at Brain Train Centers, the fastest growing neurofeedback provider in the world, and I have some pretty important questions for you. Do you or someone you know struggle with focus and attention, sleep, memory, or other mood issues? Or maybe you just want to achieve more in high pressure situations? Well, what if I told you you can unlock your brain's full potential and change your life entirely through neurofeedback, a drug-free and natural approach to negative moods, and it's backed by more than 50 years of research, so it's not new. It is safe for both children and adults as you retrain the brain to create new pathways. Medication may help short-term, but they don't address the underlying issues. Just as push-ups help your physical strength, neurofeedback is personal training for your brain. With over 20 offices nationwide, don't hesitate to reach out to Brain Train Centers, as we will provide you with the highest level of compassionate care and help you achieve the mental clarity, performance, and calm you deserve. Your journey to a better quality of life starts with a brain map. Now you can retrain your brain and reset your life. So just call or text 470-291-2778 or visit braintraincentersinc.com.
Target for being sponsors. The three guys who love sports. Chuck and Robert here along with our good friend Carrick Martin. Robert, you got something pulled up you want to talk about?
Nope. Getting ready
okay.
to talk Falcons.
Falcons. Can you believe they signed Kyle Pitts for $15.1 million?
Yes. It reminds me just of the John Contract dilemma. Here's a guy who you signed, you knew you just wanted to get rid of him, and then once your boyfriend, oh man, that hot chick wants it. Well, maybe we want him back.
Yeah.
we might want him back. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
I bet a lot of our younger listening audience doesn't know who John Koncak is.
That's probably
you
a
might want
good
to
thing.
Explain that.
Well, he was a stud out of SMU, got drafted by the Hawks,
Tall white boy, about 6'10", 6'11".
And at the end of his 4 or 5 year contract, we were getting rid of him. The bad boys of the Detroit Pistons, who had just won their first or second title, offered him a contract, and we're like, well, if they're the best team and we stink, clearly they know more than us. No, they run a different team than you do. He's not going to be good for us. And so we gave him a lot more money.
And longer contract, right?
That's why he became John Contract instead of John Koncak.
He was there a long time.
He was the Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Hawks.
I think he's the Pitts. I think he's. So what was that? Was that a 3-year deal, 2-year deal, 1-year deal?
Kyle
With
Pitts.
Pitts 1 year. It's franchise tag.
Yep.
Yeah. So 1 year deal. And, that's probably the right thing to do because he showed glimpses last year, but and we've talked about it on this show before how like 7 of his 10 touchdowns have come in 3 games. Yeah.
Right.
And he's got 3 over the other 49 or whatever. So it's
There's a lack of consistency.
It's impressive in small spurts, but we'll see what happens. But regardless, did you see the kid from Texas A&M, the free agent for Texas A&M, signed with the Dolphins last week?
Yes.
4 days later, he retired.
No.
He hung up his cleats after 4 days in the pros.
There's a reason why he wasn't drafted.
Yeah,
That kind of reminds me of Ray Goff when he went.
Ray Goof.
After he finished at Georgia, he got free agented to the Broncos, I think, and I think he went to 2 practices and retired and gave them their bonus money back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they say this guy's going to have to give back most of the $475,000 or whatever they gave him.
It's
just odd.
Depending on who you are, there is a picture in the newspaper. There's a picture of him. Robert signed a contract.
Yeah.
Now, did he change that contract 4 days later? But there's still a picture of me hanging in my living room saying that somebody signed me.
And I wonder if NIL has anything to do with this. Because he probably made pretty good money at Texas A&M. Right?
Well, yeah.
that is a great question. I was just thinking that he got $475,000, but Kyle Pitts got $15.1 million, but R.J. Johnson, our point guard that signed with Mississippi State, got $1.8 million.
Correct.
And
our freshman from last year who went to Louisville
got $1.2 million or 1.4, and it just makes me wonder about how that's going to inflate NFL or baseball or
any of the sports.
basketball situations.
You're all over it because it completely changes the game. Mean, back in the day, you wanted to get with the best coach that could get you prepared for the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball to get you ready to make that money. And now all of a sudden, there's a decent chance that you might make more in college than because you're not pro material. You're great at college, though. In college, you could make $2 million a year.
So that makes you wonder if there's going to be a smaller pool of qualified players for all these major sports. Because if just think if NCAA basketball keeps 10, 12, 15, 20 kids that probably could make the NBA, they keep them in college a year, that's 20 less qualified players for the NBA. Are they scrambling a little bit to keep some people around, or
I think there's a fine line, and I think if you've got the talent, you're trying to move on as quickly as possible. Just like this year for the NBA draft, they're still predicting the top
14.
Well, it was top 14. I looked at a mock draft the other day just to see where they had the Hawks, and I believe it was like pick 12 or something was a junior. But so it was the first 11 picks were all freshmen, and then after that guy, another.
Yeah.
So those really top guys are still getting out of there. But that junior, he might have just been hanging out. He's like, this is good, easy money.
yes,
You
it
know,
is.
The cheerleaders love me. My calculus teacher helps me on all my exams.
Well, they've been talking about Arch Manning. Isn't that his name?
yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving Texas for 3 years now, and
Yeah.
he's still there.
Well, but Carrick, this wonderful third guest of ours, who gives us all sorts of notes, sent us the revenue
Total revenue numbers.
and what was the number one school? It was Arch Manning's jerseys that made them the number one school. So at the same time, it's like, is he number one? No. But have they been selling his shirt like it? Yes. And so, man, it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and I think Kennesaw came in. I don't mean to steal the next show's thunder.
Oh, no,
but
absolutely.
like 106, 107, but we were ahead of Georgia State and Georgia Southern, which I was a little surprised about.
And it was about, what, $42 million or something, I believe?
And that's total. But what they can pay is $20.7 million can be paid by the school to their athletes.
That's the cap on all schools, right?
That's the cap on all schools. So, think about Kennesaw. We ain't anywhere near that. And, we're not anywhere near that. And,
Are you saying we're not anywhere near that?
nowhere near that.
I think I got the idea that we weren't really close to
Yeah.
that
That's
location.
That's what I got, yeah.
But how I know like Coach Petway's strategy now is come play with me for a year and I'll make you a millionaire, because he's had last 2 years.
I heard him on 92.9 The Game the other day, and he basically said that.
Yeah.
He's basically admitted we're a pass through.
Well,
Yeah.
but you have to know where you have to know who you are. It's like if you think you're going to date the prom queen, well, you've never dated a prom queen. You're probably not going to date her this time. So know what your strengths are. What was the guy up there at Kentucky for years?
Adolf?
No.
Well, that was mine a year.
The one that just left. The one who's at St. John's.
Calipari.
Calipari. No, he's in
No,
Arkansas.
Correct. It's the other one, not Calipari.
Patino.
Patino.
Yeah.
But Patino knew that because of the NBA rule saying that you had to go to college for a year, and so he basically opened his door and he said, I want all of you guys who should be able to go straight there, and he did. And so, that's why they were good for a 10-year
They
run.
won a championship,
and currently we're focusing in on what we can bring to the table, and he's definitely doing it.
Yeah, Coach Mack at football, I think, has that same philosophy. Come play with us for a year and let's improve you and see what happens.
Absolutely, and as we know, a close friend of the show, Josiah. He came here. He did great at what he did, and then he moved on. And because he moved on, we had somebody else diving for his spot. Because they know what
Next
Coach
man
Mack
up.
in this staff is doing for kids.
Yeah. So back to the pros. I got a so we got a text from Bill Sterrett.
Yeah.
Bill was our guest last week, and he sent this in. It's the best players, jersey numbers 1 through 99, MLB all time. And there was a 78 that we didn't talk about. And I have to read it here. Julio Urias.
Julio Urias.
With the
He's
Dodgers.
he's a pitcher who's been banned from baseball right now.
Well, we don't know what he was great for, but
Wait
he
a
was the
minute.
greatest number.
He might be taking PEDs.
No, he's beaten people of the opposite sex.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's the,
Yeah. It might have been some PEDs involved as well.
Trevor Bauer, maybe.
Not too far away, but Jose Urias, he actually had a couple incredible stats from his first couple years because they brought him up when he was 21. He was so talented. But, Bill, you are absolutely correct. That guy is a stud.
Thank you for sending that in, Bill. We'll use that every week now on the show. Yeah. So that was fun. Falcons have released one game. They will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals on November 9th in Spain. Ole.
How awesome. And I realize I'm probably not the guy.
Madrid or Barcelona?
I think this one's in Madrid.
Okay.
But I'm excited. I'm really more excited waiting for the rest of the schedule to drop to see if I'm going to three games and three different games in three different places in 3 different days.
They got one in Brazil this year too, don't they?
They've got one in Australia this year. Yeah.
I believe 7 countries this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you pull up that schedule? They
can.
released today all 9 international games. And I don't know what it is with the Jaguars, but the Jaguars have 2 international games again
because
this
they
year,
asked for
back-to-back.
it. They asked for it.
Because of this new stadium being built.
One, they have that, but 2, they've been going overseas.
They like it.
Yeah, they have more of an appeal in England than a lot of them.
Well, they have that owner Sadiq Khan, who is he an international?
He is international.
That
If
doesn't
ever there
sound
was,
like he's from Alabama.
No, he's not from Alabama. Yeah, Sadiq, Sadiq Kaah.
all right, so here we go. Week 1, Rams and Niners
Right
in
off the bat.
Australia.
In Australia. Yeah.
So, that one kicks off at 8:35, which means, what is that? Is that like a 7 in the morning?
It's like 9 in the morning.
No, they play on Friday morning,
Yeah,
but
they
it's
play-
Thursday night here.
Right. But
we
they
need to-
still have to play on a Friday morning. That
Well, because unlike the other games, because of TV, and that's the first game, it's got to hit the Thursday night time frame.
right.
So they're making them play in the morning.
But
And it's actually not the first game. It's the second game. There's a game that Wednesday night.
correct. The Seahawks have to play that game, their first game. But it is crazy when you think that these guys have the coach's job is to always get you ready for that one moment, right? But you're always looking at your phone thinking, I play at 7 o'clock. I play at 1 o'clock. No, not you just
Not
need to
this
focus
year.
on me.
Yeah.
Focus on me. So,
This
so
is like Pee Wee football again.
crazy stuff, yes. So that's week 1. Our next overseas game will be week 3 when the Cowgirls and the Ravens get together in Rio de Janeiro.
Wow.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
I think we've had a game there before. Not us.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Packers Eagles played a couple years ago. It was all green down there.
Yeah.
And they got to have London.
Then we have the Commanders and the Colts in London.
Got to have Berlin.
Then we have
last year was the first year we ever played Berlin.
and then we have the Eagles and the Jags in England.
Okay.
And the Jags next weekend.
And then we
one
have
in
the
Paris
Texans and the Jags in England. So, and now they do go to 2 different stadiums during those back-to-back games. So, one side of England, one, West End boys. I don't know what we're doing that time, but something there. Then week 7, the Aints travel. They would have been traveling to Pittsburgh, but instead they will go to Paris.
Gay Paris.
Gay Paris.
Okay.
And it's really gay when the Saints show up. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
So do you think all this is going to help the NFL create more of a worldwide audience? Because, football's been mostly American. And you think we'll have international franchises soon?
I do,
That are on the same caliber as the American teams?
I hope they have their own leagues. I hope they don't invade the NFL. I hope they have
Kind of
a
like
European
our
football
defensive
league.
coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not the International Football League. It's the National Football League. And I'm old school. I want them to play all the games here. I understand their rationale in terms of increasing the exposure of the sport, but I hope it's for the purposes of those countries, not for the purposes of our country.
So, we have the World Series in baseball. And, Toronto's been in it, so I guess you can call that international. And at some point,
That's close, though.
I'm sure Monterrey, Mexico will be in it, or Mexico City.
Yeah, San Francisco is the second team that played 2 international games this year, and their second game's in Mexico City.
So how would we handle European champion versus our National Football League champion. Is that going to be the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Or the World Super Bowl?
I personally look at this as a way to get the sport out there, because all these other countries typically don't play the sport, don't see the sport. So when you're comparing the German soccer team to somebody else, and you go, well, all of their best athletes go play soccer. By playing these games year after year, and it's going to take a while, but all of a sudden you might just pluck the stud athlete out of one of these countries who becomes a football player in something, and I think that's really all that they can do.
What about that guy that they drafted from Nigeria or something this year? I mean, it's huge.
Let me ask. Let's go back to European and Germans. Are their best athletes would be skill players in football terms? Because, I know we had a couple of German kids that have been on our football team here, and they're huge, because I don't think a 6'7" or 6'8" guy is playing Bundesliga.
Well, and once again, maybe getting the KSU defensive coordinator over here to ask him a few questions about what he's seen. But there are a lot of people over there, and not all of them are from there. I know in our conversations with him, and I'm sorry, I'm missing his name.
Mark Mattioli.
Mr. Mattioli, Coach Mattioli, I remember asking him, and he said on his particular team, most of the players were from France, but that wasn't the case on all the other ones. So there might be a guy from Hoover, Alabama, and a guy from Buffalo, New York, playing on the
just like we're pilfering all the other golf athletes and tennis leagues from Europe. They're coming to get our players.
Well, and if you don't have an option, if the NFL said no to you, and you're like, hey, I've always wanted to see what Vienna looked like.
Is all about money, and I think they're ruining the game by streaming all these football games. I mean, there's going to be a little bit more streaming every year, Before long, we're not going to be able to see games for free. We're going to have to pay to see football games.
Well, and you already are, and you're seeing that over and over and over. Just this week with NBA basketball, where back-to-back games on Amazon. You've just taken. You're telling this kid in we'll say downtown Baltimore that this is your favorite sport. This is what you want to be. This is what you want to see. But then you're not giving him the easy option to even watch his sport. So it is one of the worst things about the future.
But my question is, how is that any different from when ESPN? You remember we used to get all the football games on free TV, and suddenly we had to buy cable to get it, or you had to do this.
And you're absolutely right, but
all
we
money.
But we only put a handful of those games on ESPN, and I'm not arguing. Your point is correct, but we still only put a Monday night game or this game, and it was still readily available. Now it's
getting worse every
year.
year.
Push it up a little bit more.
Well, speaking of streaming. On ESPN Plus, I was watching some of the KSU Owls versus Jacksonville State baseball game this weekend, but without the streaming where I'm paying extra, those games wouldn't be broadcast, I'm sure.
Absolutely. You're
all the days of Pee Wee Reese and Dizzy Dean calling the one game on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you can't stop a dog from sucking eggs.
There you go. All right.
Let me just finish out where we were. Week 10, Lions and Patriots in Munich. So we are going back to Germany. Niners going back for their second trip out of the country, down to Mexico. So that's a tough one. I mean, you can say it's spaced out and all that other stuff, but week 11 and week 1, and then we don't know what all the buys are. But you better hope they hooked your buy into that second one where you're going out of the country.
Yeah,
you would hope.
Going to Mexico versus going overseas is quite a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, especially for San Francisco. That's a little bit more of a trip from Minnesota, but, not too bad.
Yeah. All right, and I do believe that the first Sunday night game has come out as well, and that's the Giants and the Cowboys, which it seems like it has been for 8 of the last 10 years. So
those two teams still play football?
When you say play,
what do you mean play?
Define play.
Yeah. I mean, they're well, anyway, I don't want to make any fans angry.
But, the Cowgirls stink, and the Giants think that they hired the Messiah. They need to go talk to some Ravens fans who just fired that guy before they go that route.
Well, let's get in our last commercial, and we'll talk some PGA golf.
Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Access has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, the best work outing ever, or just want to take something else off your bucket list, American Access has their 3.5 Atlanta locations waiting for you in Marietta, Tucker, downtown at the Works, and the uber cool new mobile experience that can be set up wherever you need. Keep an eye out for them at upcoming events and festivals. Look them up online or give Dan Fisher a call at 678-763-3635. That's right, Carrick. 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
I talked to Dan today. We have a common friend, Chris Gardner, that we didn't know we had. Dan wants to be on the show sometime soon, but he had a little girls' soccer game tonight that he took precedent, and we certainly understand that.
That's the way those little girl soccer games go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, speaking of other guests, Danny McDonald, I don't know if you guys remember Danny or not. He was on our show last year. He was on before he went to the PGA. This year he's coming on after he's at the PGA, because I called him, and he's in, I guess it's Philadelphia, or a suburb of Philadelphia. That's not Adirondack. What's the name of the course?
Armagnac?
Something like that.
But it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's in the suburbs of Philadelphia, because my son used to live very close to the course. Aroniac, is that what it is?
Yeah, they hadn't had a major in 60 years, I heard.
Yeah.
So,
I drove by the course. It's a pretty place.
yeah, did they charge you to drive by?
No. Huh?
Newtown Square, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And what's it called? Aroniac?
Aramiac.
Aroniac, yeah. So, very cool.
Aronimink.
Aronimink. So, very cool. I called Danny. He said, yeah, I'm in Aronimink. What are you doing? I said, oh, yeah, that's right.
I like a good course like that we haven't seen or done anything, just because these guys, they're abusing Quail Hollow. You know what I mean? They always know once every 7 years we're going to have to go to Quail Hollow or Bethpage Black. So give them something that they haven't been doing on a regular basis.
Yep.
Yeah, this is very cool. They say that it's a long hitter's course, which obviously gives Rory a little bit of a advantage. But he's got a blistered toe. My biggest question is, when are they going to have this PGA at Dogwood?
I don't know. They hadn't sent us any money to reserve the course yet.
Oh, okay.
I heard there was conversations.
I think
about
we'd
it.
have to add 800 yards to our course to get to a 7,300 yard distance. By the way,
yeah.
I'm not sure how I'd do that, but if I could build maybe some tee boxes across the road, that might work.
Maybe have to hit across the tanks at
from the Silver Comet Trail
from the
or
Silver
something
Comet
like
Trail. That would be
over
good.
the tanks of Austell.
Of Colonial Pipelines.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you say, Chuck, and I realize there's longer hitters and all that other good stuff, but aren't they all long hitters? I mean, how many? What was the guy who used to be a really good putter back in the mid '90s? Smaller guy,
Radar or Zach Johnson.
No, I wasn't
There was
thinking
another
about
guy, Radar.
But there's
Last name was Reed, who was a really
Not
good
Patrick
putter.
Reed.
No,
and I'll think of the guy who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But either way, there used to be some guys who, this guy's, decent with some of his irons. He's a really good putter. They all seem to like they can just knock the cover off the ball nowadays.
And they can. I mean, everybody's talented that plays on that tour now, like Adam Fitzpatrick. Matthews brother just came on the scene 3 weeks ago, and he won at Zurich, almost won last week. He's a good athlete, and I think him and Matthew won Zurich together, didn't they? Yeah, it was a pairs thing that Rory and Shane Lowry had won together a couple of years. But yeah, I mean, Scotty's still out there. There are so many things. Is Scotty going to be the next player to win the Grand Slam?
My opinion, he would.
Got to be, right?
Yeah.
What's he missing?
The Open, U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, and I think it's at Pebble Beach next year.
I mean, he's got the game for it, right?
Yes.
Although, if this makes sense, if you've won 3 of the 4 majors, you've got the game to win the other major.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took Rory a long time because he had them for a long time.
But that's the yips, right?
Yeah.
The talent was there all along.
Yeah, and he kind of proved that by winning it this year, that he got that monkey off his back, and he may win. I know they were complaining about the fact that he went and practiced for like 3 weeks before that. I said, you know what? He earned the right to go practice by winning that tournament.
But once again, that's what these guys all do, knowing that, hey, Bethpage Black is where the big tournament is. Pebble Beach. They're blistering that golf course and those runways to get back out there as often as they can, just to have a shot from every angle.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't. Do you have a favorite golfer, Carrick, in the pros?
It's probably Scotty Scheffler, but I just like all of them. I was really excited last week. I got to meet a PGA Tour winner who
Joe
played.
Inman, right?
Yeah, Joe Inman, who played at Dogwood for a fundraising tournament for the Georgia State University golf teams. So that was fun. He won 3 times on the Champions Tour too. So he did say we had good greens, so I'll take that.
Bam.
What, Turnip?
A guy who knows.
Turnip or college?
For
Greens. Not those kind of greens.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the Bermuda greens.
Oh, the Bermuda greens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there are a lot of good golfers out there. A lot of can win. Alex. Who did I just say? Fitzpatrick. He could win. Adam Fitzpatrick. My man Chris Gotterup has got his shot.
Brad Faxon is who I was trying to
Brad
come up with
Faxon.
earlier.
Yeah.
Just somebody who's going to always do something
And
there.
Brad's still coaching a lot of the current golfers putting.
Putting?
I think he worked with Scotty and Rory too, I think.
When you're as good as he is, it's kind of like being Mark Price at free throws.
Yeah.
You should listen to what he's got to say.
I wonder how much they get an hour for that, coaching somebody in putting.
Brad Faxon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can tell you a story about when I lived out in Charleston. There was a guy who rented Jack Nicholson at a driving range.
Nicholson or Nicholas?
Nicholas, I'm sorry, yes. Definitely wasn't Nicholson. That would not have been a good value. But he rented him for 2.5 hours out on the golf range with his 30 CEOs and presidents walking up, and it cost him $30,000, and that was 30 years ago. So I can only imagine what somebody like Faxon knows, knowing that you just made $87,000 last week.
This is from a long time ago in a different world, but I was the accounting officer at National Bank of Georgia back in 83 and
NBG.
84. And they paid Larry Nelson $50,000 to wear their hat at the Atlanta Classic.
Just to wear their hat.
Just for that one tournament.
4 days.
Yeah.
And he did make it 4 days, right?
Yes.
It would have been about
Probably
50
did.
grand if he
Yeah.
only got it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Larry was a Southern Tech baseball player.
No, he
Larry Nelson.
he graduated from KJC
Yeah.
and learned the game while he was in Vietnam, and
He
then
was 26 when he took up the
came
game,
and
right?
played at Pine Tree.
Yep. He played baseball with my brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Larry was a catcher. My brother was a pitcher.
Well, he was a good athlete, that's for sure.
He was
There's no
never
doubt
like
about
my
that.
man Larry.
No. So who do you like, Carrick, this weekend? Are you going to stick with Scheffler?
I'll stick with Scheffler.
I'd kind of like to see Rory win because I'd like to see somebody win the in-year Grand Slam again.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
But I don't see it happening. Certainly if he's got
A blister.
a blister on his toe, that's not easy to cope with,
Well,
Yeah.
and these guys are all good enough to overcome a blister, but when you think about how good they all are, if Larry doesn't have a blister on his toe, he's feeling a little bit better about his game right now than I am. So, I think it's really interesting that John Rahm is 4th in odds.
Yeah, it's Scotty, then Rory,
Then Cam Young.
then Cam Young, and then Rahm. I saw
He
that.
hasn't been playing that well, though, has he?
That's what I thought was crazy is that he hasn't been, and still way up there.
And
Yeah.
then
Shoffley,
Charbonneau's
Abe,
right behind him,
Aberg, Fitzpatrick, Dishambeau, Fleetwood, Koepka, Cantlay, Morikawa.
it'll be fun. Tease up tomorrow. I think I'll get to watch. I think ESPN's carrying from 12 to 7 Thursday and Friday, so that should be pretty cool. A lot of good golf on TV.
Yeah.
I love to watch a good golf match.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with I'm taking 2 people, but I'm taking them from way down the list, so it's okay. You guys took the top guys, so I get 2. I'm going Hogard and Hovland.
Nicholas Hogarth's played really good golf. He's been hot.
Nikolai, he has been really
yeah,
good.
Yeah. And there's another guy that's played really well this year. and can't think of who it was.
There's a lot of good golfers.
There are a
though.
lot of good
Yeah.
golfers. I like Goddard. I like his game. I've told you that since last year. Somebody picked him, one of the experts, but we'll see what happens.
Based on what I think I remember in a few of these tournaments recently, is this Scotty's to lose if he screws Thursday up again? Because basically he's been screwing Thursday up, and then he's top 2 on Friday, top 2 on Saturday. He just can't give away 7 or 8 strokes on that first day.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, Rory was the last week. He had a bad Thursday last week, but he had a great Friday. And here comes Rory. He's climbing up the leaderboard. He's 4 back, teeing off on Saturday, then had a disastrous Saturday. But I don't know if that. I don't think it's from his blister because I really know about that then. But when you take 3 weeks off from the Masters to then, that's got to affect your game a little bit.
Probably, although I'll give him a pass and say, A, he's been playing golf. It's not like he hasn't been playing. And 2, he's been through it enough times to where he knows what's expected and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah. Maybe on a younger guy, taking 3 weeks off would have a big thing. Yeah. I think Rory's probably okay with it.
Yeah, for a dark horse, I would take Tommy Fleetwood. I like Tommy. He almost.
Y'all are just picking Europeans here. I don't know about y'all.
Well, that's who plays at KSU. All the foreign golfers.
Well, I could say something like Morikawa.
Well,
he's American.
I know, but
yeah, you took a Texan. You took Scotty.
Well, that's all right. It's American. This is.
I think Scotty
this is
wins
250 years, guys.
I think Scotty wins this tournament.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I'd like to see him win. Like I said, I'd like to see him and Rory alternate every week, and I'd be very happy. But we'll see what happens with the LIV thing coming to an end, we think, by the end of the year. Just hope it's a good tournament. Hope the weather's good. I don't like to see them play in the rain unless it's a British Open. I think it's meant to be played in the rain.
I don't think I'm ever more upset at sport popping on a British Open where it's sunny. I will just go outside. I don't need to watch any it's if the wind's blowing 60 miles an hour, it might be okay. But if that's happening, it's never sunny, so it's okay.
It's always sunny and calm at Dogwood.
Yeah.
And the greens are always good there.
Yes.
Yeah. Even Joe Inman says so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he knows something.
Well, Carrick, thanks for coming on with us today. Robert, great show as always. Larry, look forward to hanging out with you here at another show. Don't forget 7 o'clock. We got the Owl Show. We got Alyssa Reed back in the house doing her things at the
Will's
diamond.
over
Alyssa
there too.
Around the diamond. We got.
She's shaking her head no.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we got a couple other guests, Caroline Chastain and John Roberson from the Dean of Business School of Business. So look forward to seeing you back here at 7 o'clock with all these other graduates. Congrats, everybody at KSU. And, guys, don't forget, know your numbers, cover your ass, get your prostate checked. See you next week right here on Three Guys Who Love Sports. Oh, boy. That was cool to Bill to text in during the show.
Especially with Julio Urias.
Yeah, I'll show you what he sent me.
Let's see.
I love that one. Send that to me. That's a great one.